I can't hear you. Is it live?
I'm just checking, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought I would try to do a first. I love firsts. Nothing better than doing a first. This is the R704, and up here I have a 360 camera. I've already recorded the N12 coming all the way up onto the Atlas. We're at approximately 2,600 meters, and I took the motorbike up this road to check the other day because I was told they had big landslides at the top due to an earthquake which happened a few weeks ago. The road is clear enough to get the van through. It is a bit tight to the edges. I will be stopping at some points to answer questions. Berkay is in the back of the van, and he is going to be answering the chats and shouting out to me while we go up. I've left it to this time of day because, one, I get quite a few people sending me messages from America. Two, the sun is going down that way, so it shouldn't be too blinding through the windscreen today. The road has just been paved. This used to be one of the most dangerous roads in Morocco. Now they've paved it, but in some areas it's still a little bit dodgy. Now I'm going to do this road in two sections. I've got roughly two and a half hours of light. It's going to take me, I would estimate, near an hour to get to the very top, because most of the time it'll be first and second gear going up. I have had a look, and there are some steep points which I have experienced. This van is a 6-wheel rig. It's a 2.8 engine. She's an old girl, 2001 or 2002, and this is hard work for her. You must remember, I've got no automated mixing of air to diesel when it goes into the engine. It's the old system, but they are very reliable lumps. So my lips are dry as anything, so do excuse. I've been on the motorbike exploring tracks and everything else. I've got a video that you're going to die for in about a week's time when we finished editing. Just along this road, and I'll show you as we go by, is a cave system, and we went caving this morning and it was incredible. The tunnel systems go into the mountain about 600 meters, and there's a stream system that runs through there as well, and we were climbing round stalagmites and stalactites trying to get through this cave system with a limited battery on the torch, so we couldn't go too far in. I was very worried about the torch shutting off and then trying to get out just with phone lights, which wouldn't be adequate at all. Anyway, we got through to a point where we couldn't go any further anyway because it was completely flooded, and I'd have been up to here in icy cold water. Although it's beautiful and sunny, the daytime temperature is great, but when you go into the shade it drops down to 0, and at night time well below 0. I've had snow and frost on the motorbike seat. Anyway, we've got a couple of hours, so let me come round to the vehicle and start the climb. Okay, flick over onto the other. Good morning, Gretchen. I can see your message. That's why I deliberately left it to this time of day for you, girl, so you'd get the morning stream in America. We've got approximately 500-600 meters to climb. It's the last bit of the real ascend up this 704, and this used to be, as I said, one of the most dangerous roads going. I've got the 360 camera on, and I just need to start that. Bear with me. You must remember that this road literally was a gravel track only a year or so ago. And I'm just waking up the camera. Bear with me. I've got a 360 camera and I need to record this because I've got the pole out the front, which you can see if I flick it onto that one. I've just got to make sure I've got this camera on, and I might have to go back out again. Lucky thing about this road, there is zero traffic, and when I say zero traffic, I have never seen a big camper up here. I've only seen the 4x4s, so hopefully I'm not getting myself into too much trouble. Just bear with me, I've got to make sure that this camera is recording. It is quite difficult and the wind's picked up a bit, but I do not want to lose any of this footage. So as you can see, I've got this camera, I've just got to pair it with my 360. This will give you all the altitude, speeds and everything else. This is only the X3. I am going to be getting the X4, and I'm just waiting for this to pair. There we go, and I can put that back in and make sure it's locked down really well. Yep, that's all working. So let's try again. The 360 camera's recording. I will try and answer questions as we go along. Burkay will shout them out to me. And here we go. Nice flat bit to start with. Allows me to get a little bit of momentum. I'd imagine we're at approximately somewhere in the region of 2,650, somewhere in that height. Don't know what that is in feet, but I know we're ascending to just under 10,000 feet for those of you that work in feet and inches. And the snow has pretty much melted all the way through. You can still see it on the peaks. But it was a great town, great people. We stayed 3 days at a small bed and breakfast guest house or hotel. I'll put all the links on, and there'll be about 4 or 5 videos on these Atlas Mountain treks all the way up. It's been one heck of an experience. And here we go, the road disappears. I really have to take my hat off to the Moroccan government. They have gone to some real levels to get these roads all open for tourism. We're at the very, very early end of the season. It's still bitterly cold up here at night. Coming from the desert up to this altitude, was a bit of a, 1 minute I'd put all my winter clothing away, next minute I got to unpack the whole vehicle to get the winter clothing back out again. And it was literally, I think it's only about 400 or 500 miles to the desert from here. But the M12 that we came up and videoed took us nearly 4 hours to do 89 kilometers, and I burnt half a tank of juice. Now I will be pulling over in a second because I can see a lorry coming down the road, and there ain't enough room always for 2 of us. And they don't stop for anyone. Okay, plenty of room there. Now, what I have noticed with this old van, in the last 3 days is I'm getting some black smoke out of the engine, and I did some checking on this, and of course it's the burn rate between the diesel and the altitude, and of course there's not enough air up here for all the diesel to burn, so I lose quite a lot of power on the engine, and you'll notice that when we start to climb. This is just a gradual slope. I mean, some of these slopes that are coming up will be first gear and first gear only. I just hope if anything disconnects, we will try and reconnect, because as you can see everywhere, the mountains are pretty steep either side of us. I believe the mountains here in the Atlas go above 4,000 meters. There are some tracks above that height, but not capable with this van. The motorbike would have no problem at all. I did notice a lot of loss of power with the motorbike as well, and that's got auto mixing system. But I can't recommend coming to this country enough. The people are incredible. They are generous, hospitable, go out of their way to assist you. You've got to abide by the Islamic laws. You know, they're in Ramadan at the moment, and they don't really, in certain areas, they don't like you smoking, drinking, even water during the daytime, because according to their religion, they don't for Ramadan. This is where I went down for the cave system, by the way. That is about 7-8 kilometers. There's plenty of campsites along this road as well, and some of them in the most remote places. As a matter of fact, there's one which will be coming up shortly on the right hand side. Now, I've actually got my remote control working for the tail air camera that I'm using. I haven't got the right cables with me for connecting up other cameras. The tail air does connect up via the Wi-Fi to the computer, which Berkeley's controlling. This also I can control with remote control. This will let me pan left and pan right, or anything I want to do basically without having to worry. And I'm using the mobile phone through eCam, which is looking at me as a guest, so I'm able to do that. Now, if I just flick the camera to the right quickly, that's another campsite in the middle of nowhere, and they've got no guests at the moment because it is out of season. And now we start the climbing, so I'm going to leave it. It'll be third, I think. I might even get to, well, you know, she seems like she's pulling okay. The scenery here, especially with the 360 camera, the videos that I'll be uploading for you over the next week or so once we've finished editing, the scenery is spectacular. I just can't emphasize how beautiful it is. And just bringing the camera to the front so you can see. And now we go level a little bit, and then we start the steep climb. I'm always having to watch the temperature gauge on the engine. As soon as it gets real hot, I will have to pull over for 10 minutes or so to let it cool. but hopefully we can manage to get all the way to the top in one go. Now it's a tight valley here, so if we're going to disconnect, we'll be disconnecting here, but we will re-establish it on the other side. And here we go. I've got to keep the revs to about 2,500, which is comfortable, and it won't overheat the engine too much. Another campsite here, and empty again, no guests. Not many people come up here at this time of year. But she's holding all right in second, which I'm amazed. The problem being is if I have to slow down at all for any traffic, then I won't get out of first gear. But this road I have hardly seen any traffic on over the last 3 days. You can see all the loose rock that's fallen in. That's nothing compared to the top. The top was unbelievable. Oh, Paul, how are you doing, sir? I see that message. And Daniel? I wish brush motors never go. Yeah, well, this whole industry. I have got a great video, by the way, for you, Daniel. I went down the local river yesterday, and there was about 20 ladies there. No, there was 20 ladies there doing their laundry in the river. And if you're talking about a cold wash, I don't think you could get any colder. That water must have been 1 degree, if any. Well, if I finish this twin tub, I'd love to come back here and actually give the twin tub to a family in this village, because they just did not have any washing machines for locals. They just all did their washing in the river. But that'll be a video to come. Oh, Gretchen, it's definitely a camper's paradise. So, Paul, you should be working in your print shop. I expect some new clothing. I'm wearing this lot out rather quickly. Daniel asked me a question as well, which I can see. When am I back in England? I will be back in the UK in May for 3-4 weeks of visiting my mother. She's in a nursing home and I have neglected her, but I can't I've looked after her for the last 2 years, and life has got to go on a little. She's been well looked after in the nursing home, but communications with them sometimes is not what I would like. But I'll be going back for a month to see her, and also making a lot of videos. I've got some melee videos to do, having a look at the new machines that they have now fitted sealed drums to, and I'm going to, oh, this might be a first. Come on, hold. No, she's holding. I was expecting to be down in first gear, but I'm pleasantly surprised that she's managing in second. So you're busy printing and embroidering. Well done, Paul. You can put your name of your business in, Paul. Anyone in South Wales ever need any t-shirts, printing, graphics done on vehicles, he's the boy to see. He did all the sign writing on this van, all the clothing I wear. Third gear, we're on a winner. Yeah, he does all the printing for my company and does a damn good job at it. Now we're in, yeah, that's definitely going to be, no. Temperature gauge is riding heavy, but there's no way I can stop on these heavy slopes, because the problem being I'd never get going again. I can't see that last message question. For some unknown reason, the screen that I've got a piece blocking it. Have you your camper? That's all I can see. It'll come up in a minute above and I'll read it. You can see some of the landslides, and these are only the small ones, which have just, I mean, there's some real big ones at the top, but that'll be about 30 minutes. They had, I think it was a 4.2 earthquake going back about 2-3 weeks ago, and I reckon it was all disturbed from that. I must admit that was the, oh no, I know, can see we're getting onto the flat here, so I should be able to pick up a bit and also get some air through this engine to cool it down a bit. Now have a look at that road. Just, yeah.
We actually asked, have you named your camper?
No, I don't name campers. I'm not a girly name a camper. She's the workhorse, and she's the motorbike carrier. I think I'll call her the mule. How about that? Because she carries the motorbike around, and she carries the twin tub that's in the back. Really, I could call her the camel after the last episode. Right, I'm just trying to let this cool down, and I'm freewheeling at the moment. Just trying to let the air cool the radiator and bring this down to halfway, and see if I can do this without overheating. But if I get a little bit of speed up and roll down here, the temperature went down just below half. You've got to remember, the air temperature here most probably is only 2 or 3 degrees. Although the sun is shining, we are coming up to somewhere in the region of 2008 by now, I imagine. Laundry guy, hello to you again. Heading up over the Atlas Mountains and abusing my poor camper, taking it on roads which it wasn't really designed for. Oh, that's a fresh pile of rock over there. I didn't see that yesterday when I came with the motorbike. I'll just pan round with the cameras so you can see. We're recording the 360, and we are climbing over the highest pass that I'm willing to let this van suffer with. We'll get up to 3,000 meters in a minute. Well, it'll be about another 10-15 minutes, I imagine, if she holds all the way. But that's second gear, I'm happy with that. And as you can see, snow. But as you see, not much traffic up here. Not many lunatics either. But I don't think anyone's ever streamed going over this. It's got to be a first. Daniel, how are you, sir? How is Barcelona? Is the weather good? Daniel owns a company in Barcelona called Gorge, and they're the people that manufacture your selector switches for most of the cookers. They are the higher end selector switches, not like the cheap Chinese ones that burn out all the time. But I've been very impressed with not only this van, but here comes a view for you, and a little bit of downhill for 5 minutes before we start climbing that lot. But I am going to keep it in gear down here because I want some engine braking. Yes, I'm being gentle with the camper van, Daniel. God almighty. I traipsed over your Spanish mountains. These Moroccans, they're a little bit bigger, mate. The road that we took, the N12 coming from the desert up to Agoudal, or whatever it's called, the town that we were in, was a 4-hour climb in first gear. I didn't even attempt to live stream because I knew how bad the road was, and I didn't want to worry about live streaming and also driving at the same time. But I'm just going to flick. Can you just make sure it's front camera only? That allows me to have a sneaky cigarette because I don't like smoking in front of anyone, especially if there's children watching or anything, and you get to see the cracking view. And when we get to the top of this, I might even stop and take the phone outside because the valley that we look down on is spectacular. I thought I'd come up here on the motorbike and recce it. What a mistake that was. I didn't have winter riding gear. I came up here and it got cloudy and cold, and the temperature dropped down to -4, -5. I had heated hand grips and my fingers were still numb, and that's why my lips on my face are all cracked, because the wind with that temperature, it's like skiing for 4 hours. But we got to go over that lot. Engine's nice and cool, so I'm going to go for it in one go. This air really does bring the engine temperature down quickly. Lovely little valley you'll see on the right now. If I pan that over, and people live there. There's a farmer that lives there, and I met him the other day on the motorbike. He didn't speak any English, but he's got goats, sheep, and the loveliest little horses, miniature horses. Go up to the left, and I'll just bring that back round to the front camera. Kamala, I love it, Gretchen. Down the gearbox I go, but I think I got a bit of flack coming up, if I remember, and then we climb high up into that lot on the top. I would love to have given everyone a lot more notice about this stream, but you know, because this winter I'm going to be down in the Middle East, and we're going to be visiting Turkey first, spending some time in Turkey. Then I'm hoping to go up to Georgia, is it? Yeah, and Azerbaijan, and hopefully the people in the world that are fighting each other. I'm not going to get involved in politics or anything else, but hopefully the world is at peace by then, and I would love to be able to complete a journey around the Black Sea. That means I would have to go up into Russia and then down into Ukraine. Now I'm going to concentrate on the driving a minute, because I've got to work the gearbox as I go up that lot, and that is one heck of a climb. We must be coming up to the top of this peak is 3,000 meters. I do know that because I had my Garmin on the other day and it told me I was at 3,000 meters, and that was on the motorbike. Come on. And you can see the snow now starting to appear quite heavily. Trying to take it easy on the gearbox, the clutch, just get into a gear that's holding and stay at an RPM. This van's real comfortable at 2,500 on these high climbs, and as long as I can maintain 2,500, I should be able to stay in second all the way up here. I was anticipating first, but the old van's getting a pat on the back. She's doing very, very well. You can start to see the rocks that have fallen down, but at the top it's really bad. It's only about 5 minutes away, unless I have to stop. Engine's getting up to just over half on temperature, but she's still holding 2004. I won't have to change gear until she comes down to 2000. And of course this is a busy road, so commuting is very, very hard. You know, there's so much traffic. Sarcasm at its best. I saw yesterday two guys, local guys, on C90 motorbikes going over this. Unbelievable. And they freewheeled down the other side. Come on, keep going. 3/4 temperature, you can't see that. I know how high I've got to go, so I'm not going to stop. She's down to 2,200 RPM, but still holding second, which I'm pleasantly pleased with. Daniel, the altitude here, when I get to the top here, there's a sign on the left, but someone has stolen the altitude sign. It's actually 3,000 meters, mate. So I did a lot of the climbing a couple of days ago, up to 2006. We've recorded that all on the 360 camera, and that is spectacular. The gorge that we came up was unbelievable. I've never seen, and I've been all around your country, mate. I was gobsmacked to say that anything beat the Cambria Mountains. I mean, it really, really did shock me. And I think, yeah, I'm not going to let the engine suffer. I'll just stick it in a lower gear, because I know how much further I got to climb. We are now in first, and I'm back up to 2006, and I'm not pushing up. But I know where that 60 sign that you can see in the front is nearly the top. Well, it is the top, basically. But they've done a brilliant job of building this road. And to get this old girl right to the top, I am chuffed to beans with. Especially when you consider she's near 4.5 to 5 ton. She's carrying my motorbike, a washing machine, and I'm down to 2 beers. Yes, only 2 beers left. There's your view, folks. Changed too early. I'm going to pull over in a minute and let you see this gorge out to the left. And bear with me, I will flick the camera over for you. Take a look at that lot. You're not going to get better. Berkeley, yep. Flick over to 2. Well, no, leave it on 1 camera at the moment. Let them see the view. I'm just crawling along here because I know just round this corner we have got some severe rock slides, and I can't remember if it's around this corner or the next. No, I think it's the next corner. But I'm just going to pull over here a second. A matter of fact, what is going to be easier, I think, just turn it onto 1 camera for me. A vehicle and a lunatic.
Is your phone?
No, I'm not going to touch the phone. I'm going to disconnect the Ozbot. So I'm just going to unswivel the tail air, and then I can carry this out for everyone. Just bear with me and let you have a look down this gorge system. As soon as I get back to Europe, I'm going to be on a spending spree to get you lot the right cameras so you can actually see. But let me take you out here. Oh, it's bitter. So, I'm not going any closer to, but there you go. Hopefully the camera is still connected. But couldn't you have fun with a motorbike down there? I just didn't have the guts. I'm 58 years of age. I'm willing to have a go at anything, but that lot just scared the living daylights out of me. Top of the world. Above the snow. Anyway, let me go back to the van. I'll take you round the van, as a matter of fact. So you've got the 360 post at the top there. She's knocking a little bit. That's because everything is rattly. The bike is nice on the back. She needs a clean, but there we go. Anyway, I'm going to be driving for about another half hour, so I will stay online for you all to let you see the view. Flick back on while I screw this on. I've got loads of cameras, but they won't connect with the cables because I didn't realise what cables you needed. And I should have really thought about it a little bit more before I set off. So just bear with me while I get all this set up. Shut that door up because it's blooming freezing. Right, that's P2. So P1 is there, so that should be square. Okay, we got everything bolted together again. Did the camera stay connected while I was out there?
Partially.
Partially, okay. Well, we will improve in the future.
Trust the progress.
Well, I know you've put 2,890 meters, Berkeley, on the thing, but I checked on the GPS and it's 3,000 on this new piece of road. Front camera?
It's on the both.
It's on both. Leave it on both. I'll have a sig after. I'm going to carry on because we've got quite a bit of driving to do along the top here, and you'll see how bad the landslides were as we go round this next set of corners. Sorry?
We have a question from laundry guy.
From who?
Laundry guy.
Oh right, yeah, what's the question?
When do you think they will phase out brush motors?
I'm not too sure they can, to be honest, because after seeing countries like Morocco and anywhere that has bad electrical supply, I think we're going to get phased out with brush motors in the northern hemisphere. Oh, is that more rock? No, that's the same amount. I'll be able to squeeze by that. So I'll answer your question in a second, mate. Let me just get round these landslides. There's a couple of them, and oh, wrong way. And I know there's another one round the corner, so I just want to make sure I get round these without getting too close to the edge. Although they've tarmacked it, it's not really holding together well. I don't think they put enough base foundation down. And you'll see coming up in a second. You'll have to excuse the lighting. I was hoping it was going to be a bit more. God, is that stunning out there to the left? Let me just quickly flick that to the left so you can see that lot, and I'll pan down. You wouldn't want to be under this lot when any earthquakes happen. You can see some of the amount that has come down, and there's no way I would be able to take this van on this left hand side for the simple reason I'm too heavy. I'd sink seriously into that mud. But for anyone with a camper, and you notice there's no campers up here, a lot of people really get too worried about, you know, they did announce this was open with tarmac surface now, and it's an unbelievable quality of road for where you think I am, or where I actually am. Now, I didn't go any further than this with the motorbike, so everything from here on in is a complete surprise for me. Anyway, going back to your question on brush motors, I think the whole of the northern hemisphere and possibly even America will be using induction motors from now on, controlled with circuit boards, but I don't believe that they're going to be able to sell machines with a warranty in countries like Morocco, Africa, Middle East, that has unstable electrical supplies. And this is due to the circuit boards popping too often. So I think they are going to have to stay. Either they're going to have to make better circuit boards, which they need to anyway. Oh, car, sorry, I didn't see you, mate. Too busy talking. And I didn't expect any traffic up here. But really speaking, no, I don't think they'll ever phase brush motors out all over the world. I don't think they can until they actually build a circuit board which isn't going to blow when voltages change. Because when I was living in Portugal, for example, in the winter, the electricity voltage, which should have been 220, in my village, which was Patakau, could drop as low as 180, and that's because the cables coming into the village couldn't handle the amount of ampage being drawn by everyone turning electric fires on. And this is why so many houses catch fire in apartments in Lisbon, because the electrical systems that are put in to the houses are not adequate enough sometimes, in the old houses I'm on about, are not adequate enough for the amount of ampage being drawn by heaters and so on. Now, although I'm going downhill, you'll have to excuse me going slowly, because there has been some rock falls and I don't want to sort of arrive on anything that I'm not ready for. And as I'm talking to you lot as well, it's a bit irresponsible if I go at normal speed. So I'm just keeping her down to a nice 35 mile an hour and enjoying the view. Well, I haven't. The only place, Gretchen, I've been in America, I used to go skiing in Mammoth, which was about a 4 or 5 hour drive out of LA. Thoroughly enjoyed that place, but I've never really spent a lot of time in the States. But as you well know from class, one of the things I'm thinking of doing is sticking me, the bike, the camper on a boat and spending 12 months with you in the States. I've actually come to the point now that I was thinking of upgrading the van, but what I love about this van is if something breaks, I have a reasonable chance of fixing it. If you consider a modern vehicle here that went wrong with a ECU circuit board that controls the engine management system, who the hell is going to fix it? You wouldn't be able to get it fixed. You'd have to be in limp mode all the way home, or until you could get to a service agent. And the great thing about old engines, although they're not as environmental friendly with regards fuel consumption and all the other benefits, this can be repaired anywhere. I mean, an Iveco engine is all over the globe. Especially in Africa, Middle East, every man and his dog has had an Iveco at some point. And this is why I'm considering keeping this now and spending some money on it, kitting it out with the correct cabling system for cameras, so I can basically just step in the van, press the record button, and we're away. That is a spectacular bunch of rocks. And matter of fact, I'm going to stop here just to pan out for you. I hope you can see that. I might have gone too far. I'll leave this looking on the left at the moment, because you will get it as I go round this corner. I love the way that these mountains change with different lighting conditions. It is spectacular. Bring that back round. Absolutely stunning. I mean, there's no roads down there. That's just a place where you stick a rucksack on and off you go. And I can't believe it's not cold. I mean, it is cold, but it's not cold, too cold. I just can't believe, as you've seen for the last 45 minutes, there is no tourists. I mean, the last 3 campsites I've been through, completely empty. I think the whole world's gone scary cats with regards, oh, I don't want to go off the beaten track, or I don't want to go into the middle of nowhere. I mean, campers are basically designed for exploring. God, that's stunning. And if you look right down in the bottom of that valley, let me try and move that. You can see some green right down the bottom, so that's got to be a town that we're going to get to at some point, and that might be tonight's camp. but I fancy wild camping tonight. I defrosted some spaghetti bolognese. I've had oh crikey, three meals in the hotel the last 3 days. I had, what did we have? Chicken, what is it? What were the meals we had the other day? Chicken tagine, lamb tagine, which was spectacular.
Tagine with meatball.
Yeah, but it wasn't called tagine, was it?
He said tagine, but I don't think so.
Right. Absolutely. I'm glad I'm driving slow talking to you lot, so I appreciate the view. It's not often you get to places like this. And just down the bottom there, you should be able to see the town, which is most probably down at 1,000 meters. So that'll be somewhere down 2,000 meters. And then tomorrow we have got the spectacular gorge that we've got to go through. I won't be live streaming that because that is hairpin after hairpin, but I will leave the 360 camera recording. Of course, you're testing the clutch and the engine going up. Now going down, it's the brakes. And this old girl is drum brakes on the back. So I've got 4 drums on the back and 2 discs on the front. But before I left the UK, I replaced everything. I've got a friend at Spannerman, Richard. He literally does all the major maintenance on the vehicle for me, and I trust him explicitly, and he does a brilliant job. Well, yeah, laundry guy, PCBs and washing machines, all I can say, built-in obsolescence. You know, this is something that's happening far too often now. Wow. Oh, I'm just pulling over, no cars behind me. Stick that full screen. That is one gorge. It must have been spectacular up here when it was the old road, but it was only motorbike and 4x4 vehicles. There was no way I would have been able to come up here with a vehicle like this a year ago. Is it on single camera still? Yeah, let's keep it that way. Yeah, I know, but I'm running so latency. Oh, you mean this one? Oh, right, I didn't know that. I'm learning Ecamm all the time. I mean, Ecamm's the software program that I use with Apple, which is able to do these live streams. It checks all the bandwidth, makes sure that I've got enough bandwidth for what I'm streaming with, and then if I haven't got enough bandwidth, it'll tell me I can't do a 4K stream, I have to reduce it down to 1080. And I'm learning about this every Saturday on my class with Doc Rock, who's been teaching me, well, teaching me to do it right, shall we say. I'll leave it to the polite version, and I do get a slap on the wrist on many occasions from him, because you've got to remember I'm 58 and I wasn't born a techie when it comes to electronics. With washing machines, cookers, I can teach you anything. But when it comes to computers, I'm a novice. Well, That is spectacular. And I think I came up here the right time of day, so the lighting's right. You think this technology was not even available a couple of years ago? This was impossible to do. You wouldn't have been able to have internet while you're driving. I think, well, I can't thank Mr. Musk enough for this. It's changed my life. I'm able to do things now which I would have never been able to do before. And as more countries get it, the service, the more you're going to be able to see the world from your own living room live. But I reckon that's a good 700-800 meters down. Well, there was a notice 40 only, so I'm going to drop it into a low gear because it could be some sharp turns ahead. Wow. Yes, Wazza, it's downhill from here, mate. I'm going down to 500, 600 meters over the next 2 days. Ouarzazate is the place I'm going to be making camp. Berkay is going to a rave in Marrakesh, which is, I'm way too old for that. I'll be happy to get to this Carrefour I've heard about and restock up with beer. But that's the road I've got to go down, and oh my god. Berkay? Can you control the cameras? I'm going to need both hands down here. I just had a glimpse of the road. It's sharp right-hand turns, or hairpins. Just pan it out to the right bottom. Yeah. Go down. Open your curtain and take a look. Yeah. I'm just checking the brakes. Oh my god, what a road. Well, the 360 camera will really produce you some spectacular footage going down there. But you'll have to wait for that video. That one's got to be edited. Matter of fact, mentioning 360 camera, let's just check the battery levels on it. No, all good. Got another hour or so recording. This is the only worrying bit with a van like this, old one. When you're only disc brakes on the front, you've got 5 ton and you're going down some very, very steep slopes. Well, I hear you in your van, Gretchen, but I rewind to this point when you get back in because it's a spectacular road. And I have got some big turns to do. You might need to adjust the camera to central with down a bit now, Berkay, because we're not going uphill anymore, we're going down, so it'll change the angle. Let's just reset the PTZs, the positions for 1, 2 and 3. This is great when you've got your friend in the back, or Berkay, who's my editor, doing all this for you while I concentrate on the van. I'm going to stop there and just have a pan around. Oh, yeah. Everyone beeps just to let you know that they're coming by. That is one heck of a road. And it's nice to let the brakes just cool a little. I'll leave it on forward camera for the simple reason you don't want to see my ugly mug when you've got a view like this. Look at the rock formations up in that mountain ahead. Well, I'm actually glad I'm going down this road, not up it, because it's loose gravel and it's a heck of a climb, so that might have caused some problems climbing. Now that was some sort of digging they had to do to get through these rocks. Unreal. Pan it round to me a second, Berkay. Yeah, all the way round to me. I don't know if they can see that. And out the side window here, I don't know if you can see. Spectacular. Worth every minute of the trip. Stick him out the front again now. I'm not taking my hands off the wheel. Suddenly an armada of vehicles. They must have all just finished work. I don't think there's any commuting going on here. Go straight. Straight with the camera. And they can... Yeah, you wouldn't want your brakes to fail around here, would you? That is one drop. going to keep her in second just to use the engine braking. Saves using so much of the brakes. Well, I'll continue this stream all the way down to the bottom. Got another truck coming behind me. And this is predominantly gravel now. Back to tarmac. Right, we got this vehicle that wants to come past in a second. Just find a nice place where he can see. But this should help out a lot of other campers who are worried about this road in the future, and they're able to see it firsthand themselves, and then they'll have the confidence. Let me just flag this vehicle by so he's got room. One that gives us acknowledgement for letting him by. I'm glad I'm leaving it in second. Out the left. Hard left. You missed it. Don't worry about it. You've missed it. It was looking at, oh, you might still see it just as we come here up that gorge. Spectacular. You could spend weeks and weeks exploring up this place. Well, for those that are watching, there will be, in a couple of weeks' time, 4 great videos with 360 camera to get the best points, plus our day caving. We went up to a waterfall and found a cave system that went 600 meters into the mountain. I could only actually go about 150 to 200 because there was an area that you had to go through with basically up to your waist in water, and there's no way I am going in boots and jeans up to my waist in water when the water temperature is no more than 1 degree. I'll do everything for you lot, but that is pushing the limits. And we still got a hell of a way to go down. See the road down on the left. Yeah, that would have been hard work on the van going the other way. That would have been first gear all the way up. Some lovely fields here on the right. That's another valley. Some greenery in. Nice to see some greenery. It's very barren on the top of those Atlas Mountains, as you can see. I imagine this is where we might lose you all, because we're going into some deep gorges now, and Mr. Musk might be good, but his satellites aren't above us. You can't get a signal. Oh, there's a little bit of water in this riverbed. Nothing up to the left, just keep it straight. Okay. Now we've levelled out a bit. Cafe, restaurant, no one in there. Well, we've been streaming about an hour or so now, and... Sorry?
72 minutes.
You want a few minutes, do you?
No, 72 minutes.
72 minutes,
Yeah.
And we haven't seen one tourist. Couple of cars, and that's it. They seem to turn up with their campers and stay round the tourist areas and don't venture out. And they don't know what they're missing. I think we're going to drop out, because I don't think Elon can stay connected through there. And if you're listening, I defy you. I will be amazed if he can stay connected all the way through here. I'm going to have to send the bugger a Christmas card. Must have been one hell of a bloody road system to put through here. I can actually feel my ears popping. I don't know if they've got any fish in these rivers here. I haven't seen anyone even offering fish in this area of the world. I I think the only thing you're likely to get is if you can find some local grocer that maybe got a freezer, it'll be bird's eye fish fingers, and that's your lot. Okay, the road's improving a bit. Into fourth. Get my fuel economy back. Oh no, they got some roadworks around here. Down the bottom end of the N12 when we were coming up from the Sahara, a lot of bridges had been washed away. And that was basically when the snows had melted, and they must have had torrents of water running down. Have I got enough room to get past this guy? Always friendly, always helpful. This isn't a road, this is gravel. One of the jobs I keep having to do on this van is reinserting screws into certain things that have rattled itself loose. But this is a typical mountain Moroccan village. And guess what? We'll have kids every 2 minutes trying to stop us or waving. They always want sweets. You can't blame them really. I never even turned the mapping system on today because I know there's only one road out of this mountain, so you can't really go wrong. But at least you get to see Moroccan life live. Let this car go by. I hate going close to the edges when you've got 5 ton, because you just do not know what you're driving on. I must have given away umpteen coins over the last month, and I've lost all my chocolates, and I've got a sweet tooth. Is that the road? It must be. Oh, you just drive through the river, do you? All right. Already had one puncture. £2.50 for a puncture to be repaired. Could not believe it. I gave the guy just under double and he was more than happy. But you just got to take your time on these roads. They are exceedingly bumpy. Trying to keep talking so people know that I'm here is blooming hard work for an hour and a half. But that sun is going down and it's getting colder by the minute. And they're still having to use irrigation systems here, as you can see. Because it must be exceedingly dry in the summer. And they need to get water to all these crops. But we've got, I know for a fact tomorrow, when we're recording, that's the valley that we came down just now, I think, up there on the right. And tomorrow we've got another 1,000 meters to go down, and that is meant to be a spectacular road. I'll stay on for another 10-15 minutes. I'm having to go slow because it'll shake the van to bits on these roads if you go anything above 20-25 kilometers an hour. And that gets exceedingly rough. Work my way through it. Right, he must be driving over that side for a reason. Yes, he is. Down into first. I've got to make sure I don't drag the motorbike rack at the bottom. He'll look at me like I'm crazy, which I am. But I think I'm going to finish this shortly and see if I can find a place for the night. And then tomorrow I won't be live streaming. I've got a live stream on Sunday for anyone that wants domestic appliance problems solved. This one was just a jolly over the mountain, as they say. That'll be at 4 p.m. GMT, I believe. And we're starting to enter a nice green valley now, so there must be some places down here to stay. It's amazing how much cleaner, by the way, the rubbish in the north of the country. It's exceedingly dirty in places, but this is quite a tidy little village. No, I'm not stopping, lads. I'd love to, but I got no sweets left. And as soon as I open my mouth, I see rubbish around the place. we got a donkey with an afternoon off. Who doesn't like being tethered to the bank? Poor thing. Go on. I'm not going to overtake this guy. Well, I might have to if he goes any slower. They love their football over here. I think they're hosting the World Cup next year, is it? A year after? A little bit smoother. As I open my mouth, it gets rougher. Going to be a cracking sunset, but I won't get to see it because it's behind the mountains. I think they'll be finishing this road within the year. I can't see it being finished like it is, but that might be the normal. At least it's wide. Amazing how much dust I kick up. You can't see at the rear, but when I'm looking in the mirrors, the sixth wheel is definitely turning up some dirt, shall we say. Okay, I'm going to pull over here and stop because I just saw that the 360 camera has turned itself off. It's either full, and I've got to find a campsite before sunset anyway. So I'm just going to pull over here. Park up for a second. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed the stream over that 3,000 meter mountain pass. You've got the whole town here. I didn't have the GPS on, so I didn't know where the name of the town or anything else. But we'll start off in this area tomorrow and we'll carry on recording all the way through. Thanks for watching.